What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to share 7 tips with you to help you land your first job as a respiratory therapist. Are you ready? Let's go! If you're watching this video now, that probably means that you have recently graduated from respiratory therapy school and passed the board exams. And now you're in the real world looking for a job as a respiratory therapist. Or maybe you're close to doing all of these things. Well, if that's the case, first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations on making it this far. Because graduating and passing the board exams is an amazing accomplishment and you should be very proud of yourself. But you're not quite to the finish line just yet. Let's hold the official celebration until you land your first job. But not to worry, in this video, I'm going to share some of my best tips that can hopefully help make that process a little bit easier for you. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and dive right in. Number 1, make connections wherever you want to work. So whichever hospital or facility you want to work at, you need to start becoming friends with all the respiratory therapists that already work there. This is especially true during your clinical rotations. And as I always say, your job interview officially starts on day 1 during your clinical rotations. So the minute you step foot in the hospital as a student, you may not realize it, but you are being looked at by the staff to see if you are a future potential employee. So it's super important that you treat it as such and make as many friends and connections as possible during your time in that clinical rotation. But if you're watching this and you didn't do that, don't panic. I mean, I'm sure you at least made friends with a couple of the RTs in that department, right? Well, if so, reach out to them. Now is the time you need to let them know that you're applying for jobs. Their approval of you is crucial towards your chances of landing a job because they can put in a good word for you with the boss or hiring manager, and that's going to make all the difference in the world for you to get that job. But keep in mind, this can be good or it can be bad. If you were rude or disrespectful or just didn't seem interested or didn't perform well during your clinical rotations, and this is obviously going to work against you and they are going to put in a bad word for you instead of a good word. So focus on making those connections and becoming friends with the respiratory therapist where you want to work. And never forget, your job interview starts on day 1 of your clinical rotations. Number 2 is to stay motivated. You've just put in a ton of work. You passed respiratory therapy school, you graduated, and you passed the board exams, or you're about to. And at this point, it would be easy to just want to relax and take a break. I get it. But this is not the time to relax. At this point, you must stay focused and motivated and keep your eye on the prize until you land a job. Now, I realize it may seem that there aren't many positions available depending on your location. This is why it's so important for you to stay positive and motivated. Keep looking, keep searching, keep reaching out, keep making connections, and you will find a job. Never lose that motivation that helped you push your way through respiratory therapy school in the first place. Number 3, don't limit yourself to online applications. Look y'all, I get it. There's no denying that we live in a day and age where everything happens over the internet. Sure, nowadays, most organizations post their job openings online. But there are still many places that are old school and fill all their positions even before the job listing makes it to the internet. That is why I recommend reaching out to each department you want to apply to. Sometimes it's better to go in person if possible, but you can also make a phone call or send over a polite email asking if there are any positions available. Just because you go to Indeed.com and don't see any open positions, that doesn't mean that there aren't any. Sometimes they're just not listed. So don't be afraid to reach out and don't limit yourself to online applications. Number 4, be courteous to everyone you come in contact with. This is just a good life tip in general, but it applies to applying for jobs as well. This includes your instructors, teachers, classmates, preceptors, or even a random lady at the grocery store, the janitor, literally everyone, you name it. Treat everyone with respect. That's because you never know who might help you land your dream job. I'll go off on a quick tangent here, but when I was about to finish respiratory therapy school, I happened to run into an old friend at Walmart that I hadn't seen in like 10 years or so. As it turns out, he had actually went back to school for nursing, and he worked at the hospital that I really wanted to get a job at. Like, first of all, I haven't seen this dude in forever, and second of all, I didn't even know he was a nurse. And on top of that, now he works where I want to work, and he knew a lot of the respiratory therapists, including the hiring manager. Long story short, I ended up getting that job, and I can't say for sure if it was because of him, but I'm pretty confident that he helped. And just because I've always been nice and polite to this person in the past, I didn't even have to ask, he went out of his way to help me land that job. So it's kinda like good karma, right? If you treat people well and be courteous to everyone you come in contact with, somehow the universe always seems to work that back around in your favor. Number 5, be prepared for the interview. Now, as with most things, the more you prepare, the better you tend to do, and this is especially true when it comes to a job interview. So that's why you should be sure to study up on the most common interview questions, just to kind of get an idea of what you would say when these questions come up in the interview. You can just Google the most common interview questions, and then you can practice your responses. Don't be too shy to say them out loud. This helps you build confidence, and the more you know about yourself, the better you will do in the interview. We actually put an article together with some of our best job interview tips. So if you're interested, I will leave a link down below in the description. And one more thing, it's also a good idea to learn a thing or two about the organization that you are trying to work for. Do your research about that particular company or hospital and see if you can learn anything about that respiratory department before the interview. Doing so will show the person that is interviewing you that you actually care about this position and that you are willing to work hard and do research to learn about their organization. This could help push you to the top of the applicant pool. So just to recap, preparation is key. Always be prepared for the interview. Number 6, use being a new graduate to your advantage. The biggest obstacle for new respiratory therapy grads is their lack of experience. With that said, there is a way that you can use this to your advantage. So as you probably heard, many of the old school respiratory therapists tend to be stuck in their old ways. Whether this is good or bad is debatable, but they always seem to do things how they learned over the years, and they are almost always unwilling to change. And you're probably thinking, so what? How does this help me? Well, this helps you because you can make it clear to the interviewer that you are willing to watch and learn and do things however that particular department wants you to do them. Just think of yourself as a ball of clay. This way, you are ready to be molded into the respiratory therapy world that we live in today. No more old school bad habits. So again, as a new grad, just picture yourself as a blank canvas. Let them know that they will have the opportunity to mold and teach you exactly how they want you to do things. And at this point, all you have to do is sell yourself. And last but not least, number 7, follow up after your interview. Let's say you just finished with your job interview. Everything went well. You blew them away and you knocked it out of the park. Now is not the time to just sit and wait. It is your responsibility to follow up with the interviewer. As the old saying goes, the fortune is in the follow-up. And this is so true, especially after a job interview. One good thing that you could do is send the interviewer a thank you note, or you could just send them an email expressing your gratitude for the time it took to interview you. You can stay in touch with your contact about the progress of the position that you are seeking. But with all that said, please don't be annoying and call them every single day. That would just do more harm than good. But yes, it is important to follow up after the interview. This shows that you are actually serious about the position. Alright guys, so there you have it. Now you know exactly what it takes to land a job as a respiratory therapist. I am confident that if you use the tips that I just shared in this video, you will be able to land your dream job in no time. If you thought this video was helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button. Also be sure to subscribe and don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos that we will be releasing soon. That's it for this one. Thanks again for watching, and as always, breathe easy, my friend.